a military deal in order to put a naval fleet in Cyprus. Now, Cyprus, for those of you that may not know, is an island in the Mediterranean on the eastern side of the Mediterranean Sea, very short distance to Israel. We're talking only maybe, 70 kilometers from Israel. And also it is just south of Turkey. And we already see Israel, who was at one time considered an ally of Turkey, and I guess on the books still is considered an ally of Turkey, but that's certainly changing rapidly. And now Russia coming in to put a naval fleet in Cyprus. Now, there's been a huge oil and natural gas reserve that has been discovered off the coast of Israel, which is also off the coast of Cyprus as well. So the contesting over who's going to get this is really coming down to a showdown. And now Russia, who also signed an agreement with the Palestinian Authority, Mahmoud Abbas, back in January earlier last year, is also going to make sure that if the Palestinians give good on their deal. Of course, it's really not the Palestinians' land, but nonetheless, Moscow is going to try to enforce that agreement. Another reason why we may have seen the United States turn in its idea of a two-state solution, because the U.S. would like to get their hands on that oil, and they will certainly finance the exploration and the drilling for Israel. And so, as we can see, the list goes on and on and on. I'd like to read to you a little bit of the information coming out of the magazine, online magazine called Commentary. It's commentarymagazine.com. Openly declaring its drilling in the underwater sabotage. That was Hezbollah did that. All added uncertainty to waters that had for decades been tranquil. The fact that Russia has dispatched a permanent naval task force to eastern Mediterranean highlights the fact that the water will no longer be uncontested. Against the backdrop of such changes in the eastern Mediterranean, increasingly strategic importance, the United States has little permanent military infrastructure in the region. Hopefully, incoming Secretary of Defense Ashton Carter will change that. But an augmentation of the U.S. presence will take years, if not decades. Alas, just as China has been filling the vacuum in Asia left by retreating U.S. power, and Iran has been doing likewise in the Middle East, so too is Russia making its move into the eastern Mediterranean. In recent days, Cypriot papers have been awash with rumors that Cyprus might grant Russia use of its air and naval bases. Here, for example, is a report from the Nicosia Cyrus Mail. It says here, quoting there from their source, local media reports on Tuesday, February the 10th, continue to suggest that Cyprus may grant Russia use of the air base and on the island as part of an undated defense agreement expected to be signed during President Nikos Anastas' visit to Moscow later this month. On Monday, Russian news agency RIA Novosti reported that the agreement to be signed in Moscow would allow the Russian Air Force to deploy from an air base in Paphos, some 40 kilometers from the RAF air base in Akrotiri. However, RIA Novosti did say that the bilateral defense pact did not foresee creating a Russian military base here. The issue of the creating of a Russian military base is not being discussed. We're talking about providing the possibility of using an air base in Paphos that other countries such as Germany and France use, an Athens-based diplomatic source told the news agency. Of course, that's their take on it there. I know also the World Tribune has spoke on this matter as well. It says the official base agreement is expected to be signed on February 25th. According to the Letna.ru, one of the most popular online newspapers in Russia, close ties to the Kremlin. Well, it's actually a state-run newspaper there. But now they're claiming that it will actually become an official base for Russia. And of course, the U.S. also has bases now as well in Iraq. So the whole region is becoming really a very volatile situation there. And one other point I'd like to bring out to you, when we were traveling here recently, going to the different